Hey there, I'm author Shannon Reaper, and this is Genre's Bookshop Podcast. And today I have, well, Ryan Bennett, like usual, and author David Fairhead. And this time I said his name right.
Yay. Thank you.
Yay! You're
Not
welcome.
everybody does.
Well, I
How
mean,
that's how I was pronouncing it. How do people mispronounce it?
Well, what I get is no, I'll get Fairhead occasionally, but usually Fairchild, Fairbanks, anything fair but
Oh,
head.
mine is Reber, Reber, and people have always my entire life said Reber. That
Really?
makes no sense to me.
See, Reber, no, that doesn't, because that was actually kind of a peripheral character in the Robotech series that I grew up with. And
Really?
I've always known how to spell Reber. And people that
That's
like the old anime of Robotech will understand that. Not many
okay.
people will.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it, so that's cool.
Yeah.
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 Interesting.
Yeah, I kind of cut my teeth with anime as far as like storyboarding and things like that, and it got me into because I didn't like American cartoons. I mean, yes, I love Woody Woodpecker and Bugs Bunny, but story wise, it always went towards anime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That
Okay,
is
so
interesting.
well, hold on. I don't think Ryan knows about your comic books though.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That you gotta fill us in on everything you do.
Yeah,
Sure, no problem. Well,
in 40
comics.
minutes or less.
Yeah, I did. I actually, I have an ongoing comic I'll talk about first, Dr. Peeler, Demon Psychiatrist. And a lot of my characters, I name drop my own stuff throughout, whether it's in
I
the story.
noticed that. That was so fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Then you got the full impact. Okay. Yeah. The idea is to reward the reader for knowing the universe,
Oh,
and
that's cool.
having
Like Easter eggs in your own stuff. I like
Yeah.
that.
well, I stole it from Stephen King and all the writers before him, but I thought, why not? You can create your own world. Let's do it,
Yeah,
and
why
it's
not?
fun. Like Ryan, like if you read something, you're reading a comic book, all of a sudden a familiar name comes across, and oh, that's what he really looks like, and you just read a short story he was in, and maybe he doesn't make it in one of them and not the other, but you can coincide the timeline. I just like to reward, and that book that you guys are currently reading. Uh,
Mhm.
Dead Memories is that it's stories within stories. But yeah, I started with
Yeah.
comic books. WZWA, which is World Zombie Wrestling Association. I did with a local professional wrestler. It was zombies had taken over Earth, and an astronaut arrives back on Earth, very much like Planet of the Apes meets zombies. And he doesn't
Oh,
realize he's back on
that's
Earth,
cool.
and he has to wrestle to live.
I love that. That's so
It,
fun.
I still have them in digital format. I'll gladly send them to you.
Please, yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
4 issue limited series, but I got news for you. You don't have to be a wrestling fan or a zombie fan to enjoy the story. It's very tongue in cheek. And John Towers was an amazing, quick artist. We did 4 issues in like 4 months. It was crazy.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yes, that was
Wow.
followed by then I got noticed by his publisher who was putting together short stories, and the great big book of Bizarro came about, and he was doing artwork for it, and I wrote the short story which became The Fall of Tomorrow.
Okay.
I think you're aware of that one, right?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Um, I appreciate it. Yeah, that was gonna be a short story, and he wanted
Okay.
it to be a book, and I was like, it was like 2 to 3 months, I had it polished off. I wrote it in a month, but because I was hungry at 38, like
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
have this shot. But he also, when I did that, he was like, this is a publisher, Burning Bulb Publishing is my publisher, and they're strictly horror, bizarro, science fiction. Great site, burningbulbpublishing.com, if you want to find some great writers that are in the genre of horror and bizarro and sci-fi, including John Russo himself.
Hey.
Yeah, he's there. All his stuff is there,
Very cool.
including the screenplay. I think he still has it up there for the Night of the Living, Return of the Living Dead. His project that he did outside of the Night of the Living Dead, which
Right,
is
yeah.
the brain-eating zombies. Anyway, I'm off topic, but he sells that at a lot of conventions. But yeah, so anyway, Gary Vincent, my publisher, he said, can you make one of your short stories an actual comic book? Can you storyboard? I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. And that's where Demon Eye came about, and that was on my website. Funny, up until today, there was a video for it. My website is being currently updated for the new book, but Demon Eye is cowboys and demons, and it's full color
I love
anime.
that.
It's
Huh.
anime. Yeah, we had a really cool artist from Venezuela. Her name was Little Sun, and she wanted to draw some cowboys. It's full color of cowboys and demons, and that's
Okay.
Demon Eye. It's out there. It's on Burning Bow Publishing. You can get it through there. And Burning Bow Publishing Comics /comics. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
exhausting. But
I
yeah,
get
that
it. I
he did.
understand.
So he
Yeah.
didn't know about the comic books, huh?
No,
No.
did you? Did you?
No, I didn't know about the comic books. I have my little notepad
Sorry,
here.
I would have
I'm gonna
sent
check
some.
it out.
I gotta say, well, issue 2 of Dr. Peeler will be done very soon for the springtime conventions, and that is
Wow.
also available. But I'll be showcasing, yeah, hopefully Dr. Peeler issue number 2 and this new one, Dead Memories.
That is very cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
I feel like I owe you guys an apology because you did some quick reading.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't finish it, but I'm on, I think, story 6.
Okay.
So basically your story about your your
Oh,
extended hospital stay.
yeah, that's an
That was,
emotional one.
yeah,
Oof.
I mean, I think I was sitting there reading it for like 2 hours, and it was just taking little breaks here and there just because it was like, whoa, heavy stuff. And then
Yeah.
I took a break earlier and I walked out of my apartment. It's like 60 degrees out right now. And the first thing I saw, kind of morbid, I saw an ambulance drive by.
Oh boy.
You know, all this hospital stuff and medical, and you're driving by an ambulance.
Right. I can laugh about it now. Yeah, it's almost told in real time. Like if
Yeah.
I could extend it by 400 pages. But yeah, it's how I recollect everything that went down. And for people not knowing, I was this time last year, actually, was it yesterday? No. Yeah, Ash Wednesday is the anniversary that I ended up in the hospital. I was going from work from my hospital job at the time to literally being admitted to another hospital.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was wild. I'd gotten off the phone with my mother. I'd gotten my ashes for the first time in a very long time to please my grandmother, rest in peace, who would be very happy with me. And boom, man, I had a doctor's appointment that night, and everything that happens in that story takes on from there. And it was rough. What it was literally I had residue left in my stomach from from pancreatitis, and dead cells formed and stayed and decayed, and it just basically put holes through my stomach.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah, so it was kind of like a pain, like and discomfort, like you can't imagine. You can't even walk, like you just kind of hunched over. And yeah, so I got
Dude.
admitted, and yeah, one thing led to another. From February through May, I was in the hospital, NPO, which means basically I couldn't have water, I couldn't eat or drink, nothing. Everything was
Okay,
intravenous.
could you
Yeah.
explain that?
Yeah.
Why is that? What would
Because
be wrong
everything
with
goes
your
to your stomach. Because I had holes in my stomach that
Oh,
had to heal. Anything, including water, would have it just made it worse. It
okay,
would have
okay.
it would have interrupted the healing of the actual these 2 perforations that I had. So
I
they had to
see.
give that. Yeah, they would have irritated. So yeah, I re-injure
Wow.
it basically. So I couldn't eat or drink. That was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and I was in the best shape of my life when I went in the hospital,
Yeah.
like in really good shape, and like 220, but a lot of it was muscle.
Yeah.
I was down to my junior high weight of like 165 after like
Jeez.
two
Goodness.
months. Yeah, man, crazy.
Oh.
Wow.
And I'm only just getting it back now. Yeah, it was a lot, but I had a lot of time to
Oh.
think and reflect and see
Yeah.
things and talk to people and get to know people. I met a lot of good folks in the hospital, but I just made it a point to write it. And now, you know what, it's a relief, it's cathartic to have that thing in paper.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely it is.
yes, yes, yes.
I'm
Very
sorry if
true.
I infected you guys with it, but yeah, I feel good about it
Yeah.
now.
I'm actually I was I had somebody else had told me that you were sick, and I went, "I'm sorry, what? What happened?" And nobody actually knew. So
Oh,
I was very happy to hear that you were back at it again.
yes, I appreciate it. Came back with a vengeance. I mean,
Yeah.
the podcast is like, like
Yeah.
you get hungry. I couldn't do anything. I
Yeah.
couldn't read. I couldn't even focus on the written
Oh,
word. But
dude.
yeah, the show, we just had 2 people from the Walking Dead on last night.
That's
So
so
yeah,
cool.
you can feel free. It's not up yet, but it will
Okay.
be, you know how that goes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
definitely have to give you a follow.
What's that?
I'll have to give you a follow on
Please.
all the major places you get your podcast, Spotify and all
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
appreciate it, man. Kettle Whistle Radio. We're
Yeah,
on
I
Spotify.
know you mentioned it in your, I think your introduction and
Yeah.
your different hosts with your whole hospital visit and stuff. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I'll have to give it a
Yeah.
listen. I'm always looking for new podcasts to listen to.
We're fun. We're
You are.
into
I
really
agree.
deep. Thank you. And you've been on it. You'll be on
I
again.
have.
I'll have
Okay.
both of you on anytime, as long as
Sweet.
there's a full, an empty schedule that week. But we focus on music and we love horror. And there's really
Oh, that's
nothing
right up
we
my job,
That
right up my
is
alley.
him. That is him right
right.
there.
And we have a little we also have a little temptation to go after comic books, and we talk comics a lot. On being that I work with an artist, Jess is an artist, a musician as well, and Bob is the artist doing Bob Hoagland doing Dr. Peeler, demon psychiatrist. So
Hey, hey.
yeah, I put myself in good company, and yeah, well, you know what it's like. You two, you probably help each other out when one of you don't feel like doing it, the other one kicks you.
Dude, if you kick me, I will probably kick you back.
Yeah,
I don't like, I mean, you're one of my
I don't
best
kick.
friends, but
Yeah, I don't.
But you'll still be awake. You'll be awake after the kicking.
that's true. That is true. But yeah, let's not do the kicking.
No kicking. No, but I see what you're saying. I mean, yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah, you see it. I see what you're saying.
Like
Yeah,
there are days
totally.
and then you get rejuvenated talking about creative. So work will bring you
Right.
down. Your work day
Yeah.
will bring you down,
Yeah.
and you have all these plans at 8 o'clock in the morning. By the time you get home,
What?
no.
That's my
What?
life.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you sort of enjoyed it. I'm not sure what you liked.
Um,
I'm because you guys are also a test group. When I
okay.
send things out, I shoot from the hip, you know.
Mhm.
So if it works, you tell me. You could lie to me too, and just
Um,
Dude,
tell me what
dude,
doesn't work.
I finished book 13 this afternoon, and then I listened to the rest of the little things that you sent, like the elevator pitch and the other after things.
Oh, so you read
Um
Halfway House,
yes. Oh,
chapter 13?
dude, I did not love that one until the very end. I was like, I do not want to hear oh, I do. Yeah, I really want okay. And then the end and my mind was kind of blown. And I'm not gonna give any spoilers because
yeah,
I
don't
I
give it away.
think
I'm not
he's
there yet.
gonna like
I'm
it.
not,
But
I hope so.
that
yeah.
was amazing. That was
Ah, thank
amazing.
you. I thought it was kind of because I've been told several things. That thing went through a lot of I guess morphs. I
Yeah.
like it. I changed the ending, and also it was more brutal. There's a
Okay.
more brutal version of it,
Okay.
and that was previously published. And I had to. I want to change things around to fit because it is the finale of the book. If you look at all the stories
Ah,
as one story, it is a finale,
okay.
but it still doesn't ruin. If you go back, Shannon, if you go back and read the other ones, it's not going to
Yeah.
ruin anything, but it might put
Okay.
some things together.
Cool. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
gotta I gotta say, I think my favorite was book 10. My That
Okay.
was my absolute favorite. That was Left Behind. Yeah, Left Behind. That
I
was I
I'm so
didn't
glad to hear that.
expect that to be my favorite, but that was the one that really stuck with me. I really liked that one.
That makes me so happy. It was a
Yeah.
later one that my wife Dee actually inspired by talking about. I think you pronounce it arboretum or arboretum or
Arboretum is how
arboretum.
my Kindle pronounced it.
That's what I thought. Yeah, and I just always intrigued by that. And if you could find, I've always been intrigued with mazes.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, what's around that corner? Can I get out? Will I get out? Will it take me 2 hours? Will it be a day? I don't care.
Will there be
Just
a
the
cute
idea.
little old couple who directs you a couple of times?
And there you go. Yeah, I put, as you notice, not everything was horror in that
Right,
book.
exactly.
I
Exactly.
put some, and Boozle is also there's some comedy. I
Yeah.
put a little
Yeah.
relief in between. Yeah,
Good
that was a
cat.
real thing. Boozle was real. Yeah, just for people that want, yeah, 4 of the stories, 4 of the 13 are real. But yeah, I'm glad you like Left Behind.
Yeah.
That was one I threw in there. It kind of came together, and it was inspired by several people that I know, kind of. And just what do you do on your lunch break? What if you meet like that weirdo that changes your life on your lunch break? I'm glad you like that. I really
Yeah,
did because I
yeah.
tried something different with an old character. That guy, I don't want to say too much, but
Yeah.
the person you meet is someone that is kind of throughout all my stuff.
No,
You mean
the one I
Dietrich?
the one I like
Not
was
the
No.
other one.
The other Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yeah. You're
Okay,
cool.
yeah. All right.
He goes by several names and he's not
Okay.
the devil, but yeah, that's too
Right,
easy.
right, right, right. I know. Yeah. I had actually forgotten that. Sorry.
That's
Brain
all good.
froze.
No, don't worry about it. I threw them at you.
You did.
I'm glad you like
I'm
Left
terrible
Behind,
at
but
remembering names.
that was
So,
very much female oriented in that one.
and
I
that's not usually my thing. I'm usually, guy stuff, more
mhm.
interested in guy stuff than girl stuff, but that one really resonated with me.
I don't know if we talked about this in the past, but and Ryan wouldn't know this, but now he will. I I've been trying in this one I made a valiant effort to change my tone per story, practicing different voices and
Yeah.
different because not every story is told by the same person. And you find that out later who kind of was telling what, but it's not that's not even important. The stories themselves are. But I tried to use because somebody, a professor, a writing professor who I actually know, told me, Dave, all these stories, this is like a couple of years ago, a lot of everything you write, it sounds like you. It sounds like you telling the story. How do you now?
Um,
So I'm challenged with how do I make a story not sound like myself? Oh, well,
right.
learn to write female perspective, which I've done. Learn to write a doctor's perspective, take yourself out of your
Ah,
wheelhouse.
right, exactly, exactly.
Or for that matter, a drug addict, which if you read
Oh,
the first one,
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, the first one was that Dead Alive. You got that one, I guess.
yes.
Okay. That was pretty easy. I like to play with cryptids a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's very fun.
I take cryptids and put my own twist on it. And not necessarily Mothman, but we'll say in that one,
Mm.
Black-Eyed Children.
That
Have you heard
was
of them?
very creepy. That was very, very
Yeah.
creepy.
I'm glad you
The
like.
one, the story I liked was the Hazel Eyes, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, a
Remember?
different Hazel.
Yeah.
That's gone through some reincarnations too.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like that.
Yeah, I read that one and I pictured in my head like an episode of The Twilight Zone or like Tales from the Dark Side. It's like great.
Thank you, because I grew up with that stuff. I guess I did
Yeah, I
definitely
mean, I
have
grew up
that
with
in
that
mind.
too. And Tales from the Dark Side, I remember that when that color changed, it was like, ah, I'm
Oh yeah.
scary.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And it kind of
Not
reminded
so
me.
brightly lit, and then boom, it fades. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, that show, and it so low budget, but they ran it for a very long time.
Oh yeah. And then of course Twilight Zone and
Yeah.
Tales from the Crypt, which I'm just now for the first time ever watching because we didn't have HBO and I bought the
Yes.
whole box set. So
Um,
I'm going through it.
you are the second person in 2 episodes of podcasting that said they bought the entire collection because it isn't anywhere right now. A
Oh,
little. This is funny that you should bring up Tales from the Crypt. The night that Ash Wednesday, the night that I got sick and ended up hospitalized and changed my life, I was within an hour of interviewing John Casseur, the Crypt Keeper himself.
Oh my gosh,
oh,
really?
Yes, and I'm
Ah.
hoping to get him back, but he's probably lost his faith in me now. But I told him, I was like, dude, I got sick. I actually texted him from the hospital because I felt terrible about it. And I didn't want him to think I wussed out because I don't do that. But I was in a hospital bed. And this is,
Oh,
oh God, you know what? This is funny. Only you guys are going to get this story because I'll remember it only now. John
okay.
Casseur was supposed to be interviewed the night I went in. The day within an hour of me being discharged, I get a text from John Russo. Hey Dave, I need to promote my new book. Can I come on your show? I'm like, well, John, your timing is amazing. I'm being discharged from the hospital. I don't know if I have my voice back yet. It just set me. I was kind of like, well, maybe that's a calling. I really need to get back into things.
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
Oh my God. But what how are you
That's
guys
pretty
doing?
fun.
You guys writing? What are you guys reading outside of my garbage?
Oh,
Garbage
I
my
just
left butt cheek. Come on.
no. I just finished the Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer.
I've
They
heard
made
of
a movie on Hulu, and I read it when it first came out, and I really enjoyed
that.
it, so I just revisited it, and it was really good. I'm on to
Cool.
read the South Reach series now.
And
I
I
don't
know
think
that
I know that one.
you're always reading something. You must be
Always.
like
Hold on,
five
I
at a
don't
time.
remember. Um,
You don't
I
remember?
got like I got like 6 books going at once.
No
But the
wonder.
one oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's I can never remember specifically. But the one that I oh yeah, it's the Sarah J. Maas book. It's House of Flame and Shadow. I think it's the third one. I don't know. I don't read a lot of
Yeah,
traditionally published because they're
you're
more
busy.
expensive,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's better for my wallet to get other ones, but
I hear you.
I really enjoyed that series.
Well,
So I yeah,
you
most
have to
girls like
remind
it.
me. You have to remind me. I have to make sure I send those comic books to you guys, especially. I
Yes,
didn't
you
know.
need to.
I didn't know you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to remember because it's like, well, I don't know. It's been a while. They do stand up. I mean, I actually still have paper copies. They came up last night too. But
Cool.
yeah, as far as reading, like I try to read so many different other people as well. I read right now reading the 37th Parallel, Ben Mesrick, I believe his name is, and that has to do with all the UFO sightings through like
Oh,
the 60s.
cool.
Oh no, from the 40s on up. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Cool.
Chuck
Okay.
Zukowski, who is in Alien Highway with my buddy Heather. We watched that whole series and it was phenomenal for, for like a paranormal show. It was really
Right.
done excellent. And
That's awesome.
Chuck Sikowski is very, very believable. I mean,
Okay.
he's credible. And yeah, so that's an interesting book. I'm trying to get more into reality. And I when I'm writing horror, it's funny, I don't read as much horror.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Really?
Yeah, you wouldn't want it to influence you, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I try to, and like these stories, maybe some of them don't seem very original. The ones that don't, what I've done, what I've always done, and people ask, like my writing practices, watch and read really bad stuff and think of ways to make it better. And
Yes.
that
Yes,
was my
exactly.
Smart.
exercise
I like
because
that.
yeah,
My friend Charlie, when he's in writing mode, he always says, "Oh, when I want to write something really good, I only read award-winning books." I'm like, that's actually exactly the opposite of what I do. I read
Mhm.
trash so that it gives me something to work up from.
Right, yeah, I go
I don't
trash.
write. I just read.
What about you? What do you what do you like?
I just read. I don't write.
He's the reason that I have Genres Bookshop.
I
Yeah.
see.
He came up with the name. He decided he put forth the idea to have used books.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's kind of the man, even though he bailed on me a while ago.
I work a million hours.
Hey, he's here now.
Exactly. We do the
Yeah.
podcast. I will give him that.
That's cool. I hope
Yeah.
I can make it to your store. Where
You
exactly is it
need to.
located?
We're like 40 minutes north-ish of Erie. So Presque Isle is less than 40 minutes from here, I
You know,
think.
I write about Presque Isle and
I
all.
know, that's why I
Yeah.
told you.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to come out.
Heck
Okay,
yeah, you
that's a
definitely need
given.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use that. I find it
I know.
like an enchanting place. It's like
Yes,
pretty but mysterious at the same time.
it's true.
And I have a fixation. I grew up on Long Island, which most people say, "Oh, that's not an island." Well, it is. It's huge. But I mean, you can go anywhere and hit water, northeast, south, or west. But I've always just been intrigued with the ocean and large bodies of water. I'm
Yep.
an avid swimmer. It's not like I'm afraid of drowning, but what's in there? What don't we know about it? And that's my next project when this book is done. It's actually an older one, and every writer probably tells you this. The one they've been working on for 10 years is their best work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That
Yeah.
I actually that's what I'm doing right now. The book that I am just about to finish is the very first fantasy book that I ever wrote. I trashed it because it was just bad writing and it needed so much work. But
Mhm.
I started tweaking it, and then I switched out the other stuff for Irish mythology, and it all just started working, and I am just about to finish my
Ooh,
serialized novel. I'm
excellent.
so excited.
Well, I will be reading it.
I
Yeah.
hope
You said, are
so.
you dealing with Irish folklore? Are you dealing with fairies and how they look at them?
Yes. Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
I am on board. I'm there.
Fairies, dragons, we've got gods, we've got a lot going on.
Their take on fairies is horrifically creepy to
I
me.
know, right?
Yeah, very much so.
The changelings are probably the creepiest thing
Uh-huh.
because I read this I can't remember the name of the legend, but the legend is there's this super ugly baby,
Oh,
and he's the oldest one, and he grows up, and he's a very fractious baby.
oh,
So he starts growing up, and he hears someone playing bagpipes, and he steals the bagpipes from the musician, and he starts playing, and he's perfect at it, and he starts to learn that he can control people through the pipes. And
Oh,
I was reading this, I was like, oh, I'm using that. I am using that legend.
That's
good
yes.
one.
I'm so glad you are.
The very last book in my series, all of my things are all of my things start with through the, and the last one is through the Piper's song.
Mm.
So how long do we have to wait before I can read?
I think I can get it done in a
Tomorrow.
couple of weeks. Yeah, no, not tomorrow.
Oh, she
I didn't do it.
Cody's
I was
writing.
busy reading Dave's book today. I didn't get to
Uh,
write.
that's all right. But so you
2 days.
read, did you finish Halfway House?
I did, yes.
Okay, you did finish it.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
just a
I hated it at first, and then I loved it.
a lot of
The
people kind of
ending. Yeah.
a lot of people feel the same way you do. That's why it's
Uh-huh.
kind of
Uh-huh.
iffy. I wanted it to have its moment, so it's
Yes.
finally in a place where it
Yeah.
deserves to be.
Yeah.
That one, yeah. I'll just to tease it. It's basically four serial killers playing spin the bottle with a knife, and they have to tell their story of their favorite kill or kills, and they take it from there, and then you find out how they unravel, quite
Mm-hmm.
literally in some cases. And
Exactly.
I'm
yeah,
looking forward to that.
and it's
Dude,
their
you will like it. You will like it. I know you will.
Yeah.
their annual it's their Halloween getaway per se. They meet and they do this thing. And not everybody, if you get to the 13th story, by that time you may know at least two of the characters, maybe three from
Yep.
the other stories. That's
Yep.
why I like doing that.
That
Um,
was spectacularly cool.
thank you. I'm glad you was there anything else that like creeped you out? Did I do something right?
Um, let me think. Seriously, the book 10 was the one that really creeped me out, but
You like
with 13, it just pretty much all of the like gruesome sort of gleeful detail that these serial killers are giving to their murders, that
uh,
was really creepy. And I totally loved it.
yeah,
Even though
that
I hated it, I also loved it.
you had to I
See?
had to go a different way.
Yeah.
Because like I know even like my wife looked at me totally different after that one. And everybody
Exactly.
you all have that holy shit moment, but really it isn't that difficult to look. I mean, I guess it is. It depends. You just got you watch enough true crime like
Exactly.
I
And you learn
do.
a lot.
Yeah. And you do learn a lot. I've learned a lot. Geez, just reading Stephen King. I've learned a lot about just getting to know. I joked about this on another show. When you read Stephen King in the at least in the 80s and 90s, you knew which character had a splinter by the time you were done reading 800 pages.
Yeah.
Like it's so thorough. I don't want to be that thorough. I mean,
I
I want to
don't want
I want it to
anyone
be
to be that
fun.
thorough either.
Yeah.
I still want it to be fun for you, and that
Yeah.
that was the idea. I'm
Yeah.
really glad you like Left Behind. I don't know. Did you get to the Doppler effect?
See, I can't remember. I was listening to them and I don't know which one that was.
That's
I
with
didn't.
foam. A certain, we'll say, I don't want to say enchanted, but a very special
Yes.
foam.
Oh my goodness, I loved that one. That one was awesome. And the ending part with somebody wanting to come home, that was
Yes.
so creepy. I
Well,
loved that. Ryan, you'll like that one
I'm,
too, I think.
well, no, no. One thing I want to say is, I know I started reading these maybe 2 nights ago, and it's like you need a day to really digest a good short story. So like I'm there, like today I read most of the, what is it? The one where you basically tell your whole experience in the hospital. I forget the name of it.
Shea Pin Dead Cell.
Yeah, so that one was so heavy, and everything that's going on with that I was just like kind of forgot about all the other stuff that I read because I didn't have time to digest it.
I appreciate all
So
of
I
that.
mean, and I felt, yeah, so I'm gonna definitely go back and read them and then let it simmer and then
Mm-hmm.
go back.
That makes me
Simmer.
happy. I mean, I mean, you want to share your experience with people, and you don't want to turn them
Yeah.
off either and bore
No,
them.
it was like really interesting how all the different people that came into your hospital bed, and then all the things like the Star Wars guy. That guy was
I
like, I want to
love
meet
that
that guy.
guy.
Okay,
Me too.
I want to meet that guy.
Galen
The
is
night nurse.
real.
I knew he
Oh,
was real as soon as he started.
okay,
Yeah.
wait a second. No, I'm gonna tell everybody in your podcast because he wants followers. And
Okay.
man, does he is a Jedi. I met him in the hospital. He's going through some tough times.
Yeah.
He had an accident, but this is a friend of mine, folks. Galen Young. If you go to my friends on Facebook, you find Galen, Galen Young. He makes his own lightsabers, and these are Hollywood grade, Disney grade with sound effects. I mean, we were battling. Neither one of us could walk. I'm in a hospital bed. He's in a wheelchair. His leg is up in the air. I can barely see. I have a migraine all the time, but we're fighting each other with lightsabers. Hilarious. I mean,
That's what makes it a great story.
It's funnier than that because like my mother would come visit. My wife came every day. My mother drove from New York, and she's there with her boyfriend, and she's literally walking into my room, and I hear in the hallway what sounds like snap caps exploding in the hallway. This shouldn't happen in a hospital, folks.
Yeah.
And my mother comes in kind of running a little bit, and she's a little spry. And I was like, what's going on? And I see behind her is Galen's mother also in costume. They came in costume to visit him. She's dressed as a Jedi, okay, and his girlfriend is dressed as a Darth Maul Sith Lord. And they come into the room with lights, and they're literally wielding snap caps at my mother. And they're showing off their lightsabers. And they came in. I was like, Mom, I'm sorry, these are my friends.
Yeah.
You don't expect this in the wing where people are like sick and dying.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Galen Young got in trouble for wheeling around the hospital ward, the 8th floor, too fast in his wheelchair to the point where he might knock somebody over. Real guy, real thing. Look him up. It's so worth it to watch his videos.
Okay, well, we have pretty much no time left, so
no.
you got to plug your book very quick and tell us where we can get it when does it come out?
Okay, well, it'll be in 2 weeks, print and audio. You can go to right now, fairlydarkproductions.com, and you see my other stuff there if you're interested, because it all kind of ties in together. And you can go for my other stuff, burningbulbpublishing.com or burningbulb /comics.com, and you can get the comic books too. But yeah, Dwelling in the Dark is still a favorite. That's the short stories. Fall of Tomorrow, Demon Apocalypse. This one, Dead Memories, a collection of shorts told by someone that very unsavory, not trustworthy, occult-ish, and he may not be the only one telling the stories and showing you the pictures and the artifacts of what was obtained. And these stories kind of blend together, but you could just read them separate and enjoy them.
And I enjoyed all of them.
Yeah, I'm enjoying them right now. Yeah.
Thank you. And I appreciate your time. Thank you. And I'll make sure you guys get an actual copy.
Hey, please.
Look
That would be
the store.
spectacular.
Right. And of course, Kettle Whistle Radio. It's my baby as well. 290 episodes, 15 years, music, horror. You're on there. We got to get you both on there. Plug your show, but lots of music. And we always make sure that we tell people, pay for their art, help the artists out, whether it's Bandcamp or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, give them at least, throw them a bone for the work they put in.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
right.
yeah, tune in Spotify and iHeartRadio. That's Kettle Whistle Radio for all your podcasting needs.
All your podcasting needs.
I love you guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, thank you for being on.
I appreciate it. And avoid those technical difficulties because I know Zoom is a pain in the ass.
Well, it was worth the wait.
Yeah, it was.
All right, guys. Take care.
See you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.